Hi, my name is Herman Kuncher from Carlsquare Equity Research. With me today in the studio, I have the founder and strategic advisor to White Pearl Technology Group, Ebrahim Laher. Ebrahim, welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Ebrahim. So to begin, maybe we could start with you providing an overview of White Pearl, or more specifically, what are your key business areas, who are your target customers, and what services do you provide?
White Pearl Technology Group is a diversified IT services group and technology service provider focusing on global customers throughout the emerging markets as well as the developed world. The company is made up of three clusters, three areas of solutions: IT services and solutions, digital transformation, and smart infrastructure. We tend to focus on larger end customers in the geographies where we provide these services.
So in terms of the Swedish stock market, what would you say makes White Pearl stand out from the others?
I think White Pearl is a diversified company that gives Swedish investors access to the emerging markets. Secondly, also White Pearl has proven year upon year in terms of delivering profitable results to the market. And I think those two elements stand out to the Swedish investment community, as well as the fact that you have access to a high technology play with regards to AI and big data.
Yeah. And much like the emerging markets in general, you seem to be growing very fast, with revenues increasing from 135 million SEK in 2022 to 310 in 2024. What has been the range of organic growth over the past 3 years?
Generally, the company has grown above 20% organically year upon year. And I think that's been driven by significant demand in emerging markets as well. But I think cross-selling and upselling emanating from the new businesses we've brought on board, as well as the new offerings that we've taken to market.
And would you say that's one of the key or core drivers of the organic growth, or are there other factors that also contribute?
I think those have been the primary ones. We've also developed a lot of our own IP, our own technology in the areas of AI, as well as smart solutions. And I think those have also compounded in terms of allowing us to grow significantly organically.
And I mean, these are very different and diverse areas, but do you have a main competitor that you would say is your overall main competitor, or is it different competitors for different areas?
I think obviously we come up against the large system integrators globally like Accenture, etc. But in each country there are established high-end IT companies which we basically come up against as well.
Okay, and you already mentioned that M&A has been a part of your strategy.
Sure.
Can you elaborate a bit more on the M&A strategy? I mean, in terms of what's your criteria and what companies are you usually targeting?
Absolutely. I think the first criteria we have from an M&A perspective is access to new technology, new solutions that we feel our existing customers and our existing businesses will do well with. Secondly, it's then access to new markets, new geographies, as well as then ultimately being able to attract new entrepreneurs to the business, to the group. Obviously, valuation plays a big part in terms of what we do as well, and I think that's a further metric which gives us a view in terms of identifying acquisition targets.
Yes, and we were already touching upon how the organic growth is still very much a big component of your growth.
Sure.
How would you say you view the synergies between the companies you acquire? Is that an important part, and how do you tackle it?
I think it's probably the most important part of the acquisitions that we do. For us, it's not only about acquiring revenue and acquiring solutions. It's about what we can turn the existing businesses into, as well as then transforming the new joiners to the White Pearl family. And those two factors together allow us to unlock value for shareholders, both through the inorganic bit, but the organic bit on top of it as well.
Mm. Now, most of your acquisitions, I would say, have seemed to go smoothly. Yeah. But last year you had some problems with the planned acquisition of Ajima. Could you please expand a bit? What did you learn from that experience, and has your diligence process changed in any way?
Absolutely. I think, we learn every day, and I think the Ajima example specifically brought to bear significant areas around financial and legal due diligence, especially, which we've now increased, as well as then now taken to the next level to ensure that those sort of situations never happen again.
Yeah. And working in emerging markets, of course, there are different risk-reward ratios, perhaps depending on the country. What is your take on these different risk-reward profiles of the markets you operate in?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have the technology concept of leapfrogging happening in these markets. So not only do we have access to higher earnings in these geographies, but we also learn a whole lot more about our solutions, about our products. We develop new products, new solutions, new IP. And I think all of this contributes to the strength that White Pearl is today, as well as then the future with regards to the kind of solutions we deploy.
Yes, and as mentioned previously, the common denominator for most of these markets is they're growing very fast. But what would you say is your long-term vision regarding geographical revenue distribution?
I think ultimately we aim for a 50-50 kind of split with regards to emerging markets and the developed world. Obviously, it will take us a bit longer as we continue to grow now into these new geographies, but that's our long-term goal.
And within the markets you operate more on the sector side, what are some long-term growth trends that you will take advantage of, and how will you do it?
Obviously, we're seeing AI more and more at the forefront of what's happening in business. So certainly AI, machine learning, predictive analytics, big data, these are the key trends that we are currently seeing across the markets, and more we're starting to deploy these solutions into customers at the moment.
Yes, and in the current markets that you do operate, what are some of the macroeconomic risks that you see that could be a threat to those developing trends?
I think from a geopolitical perspective at the moment, there's significant risk throughout the world. And I think the markets we're operating in have some of those risks. I would contend, though, that the emerging markets that White Pearl operates in tend to be more of the stable emerging markets. And hence, we've been able to I think, grow the business as we have over the last 5 years.
Yes, and maintaining this long-term perspective, how will you, or can you rather elaborate on your financial goals for the longer term, and how will these be met?
We've got a 2028 growth plan which has been driving our activities over the last 4 years. We believe that we're currently on track for that, and the stability with regards to our company, to our business, to the capital structure that we deploy is where all the focus is at the moment.
Yes, and just to be clear, the goals are expressed as revenues of 827 million and an EBITDA margin of 17% or above. Now, what would you consider the primary hurdles are for achieving these goals?
Yeah, I think competition with regards to technology solutions, the changing technology environment, these will fundamentally drive, headwinds against us being able to achieve those goals. But on the other hand, we've got a stack of solutions. We've got a lot of IP. We've got relevant skills that we can deploy currently at customers, that we are deploying at customers, and I believe that will help us in achieving our goals.
Yes, and the margins, they have been good historically, they are good now, and you expect them to be good in the future. But can you explain a bit more about what enables you to have those margins that you have today?
Very good question. I think at the moment, like I said, AI, our own IP, our own solutions, it's what's driving our ability to improve our margins. We see these trends moving into the future, as well as then driving some of the margin improvement that we are factoring into our future plans.
And do you envision that there is a risk that perhaps growth will come at the cost of margins, or will you be able to maintain both of these at the same time?
Again, a good question, but we foresee that our plans take into account both the competitive landscape as well as then the kind of solutions that we're currently deploying, as well as an evolution of the IT services market, which we're currently experiencing.
And should these margins continue to be as good as expected, do you envision dividends being a part of your strategy in the future?
Absolutely. I think a stable dividend strategy is part of the plans of White Pearl going forward. And we hope to make announcements regarding that in the future.
Okay, great. And then to round off, perhaps, could you give some interesting highlights that you envision in the coming months or quarters, so the investors have something to look forward to?
Yeah, we've had an explosive H1, as you know. And we certainly see those trends continuing into the rest of the year. We see strong demand in all the regions. Our people are busy. We're hiring significantly throughout the world. So certainly we see a continuation of the trends that have already been seen in the first half of the year.
Okay, so then Ebrahim, I thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.